What's going on, YouTube family? T.O. here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight, continuing our lake breakdowns. If you haven't had a chance to watch these things yet, I'm telling you, you need to check them out because they'll really make your life a lot simpler when you're out there on the water. You can break down lakes so much faster. So make sure to check out these lake breakdowns. Tonight, we're jumping into Lake Ganbury. It's the second video for the offshore hotspots. Let's get her done. Here we go. So if you missed the last videos, I'll zoom out here. We've already covered this upper portion of the lake, basically from right up here all the way down. We covered down through here as well on the last one. And now we're right down here on this bridge. Let me tell you what highway this is. I don't know if it says or not, but at least we can see the marina. It's Bridge Harbor Marina. So that's where we're going to start at today. So when we're coming down this river channel, the first thing that caught my eye was right here. There's a real subtle point that's right in this area. I think we may have even ended on this point last time we talked about it, but check that out because that one looks like it has some potential. And it's a really good spot for them to set up on, especially coming downstream from that river. All right, so then moving on down here, didn't see too much going on the river channel going through here. Obviously, anything on this side is probably going to be pretty creative, and you want to look around and see what you can find for brush piles and things like that are close to this river channel. You've also got that really deep side too, so that's always good to be fishing as well. But when you get down here, the next thing that I find is right out here, you've got these little shallow flats. These flats are in about 10 to 11 feet, and they've got pretty good breaks off the sides of them. So you can see here, I marked you a couple spots here, but really want to scan up on the top of these and see what you can find. You also want to look in this little cut in right here, see what you can find. And then off the point too, where the other creek channel comes through here, you definitely want to look on this side too and see what you can find. Right in here, it looks like that creek channel actually comes up and bends right up against the bank line right there. So you got a really good creek channel swing going on there, as well as some flats and some points. A really good area just to be taking a look at. So scan all around in there. And then, of course, looking on these bends too. Anytime you have these major bends, you want to look on those. So you can see here, I've got several different spots to check. But really, you want to check this whole area. I would imagine that this area right in here is a pretty good area to be able to find some fish. So we're going to keep moving on down, kind of following again that river channel. The next thing we find is another creek bed that kind of comes off the river channel here. And you can see again, we've got a pretty good flat coming out here. This is on about 11 feet. And then you can tell here, it's actually deeper, 16 feet. So it comes up almost like a little hump or a flat or something's going on up here. And then you've got a really big drop off right here by the creek bed. So look out here on the edge of these, but also don't be scared to get up on top of those flats as well and check it out and see what you can find up there too. But anywhere you see these breaks where that river channel's coming down and then you've got a creek bed that dives off of it or a major creek arm, those little turnouts, when it makes that turn, is usually a pretty good area to find some fish. So look for them in here, look for them over here on the other side. You got a good little pinch point right in here as well. I didn't even mark right underneath those docks. That could be really good because you've got a creek channel swing. And this creek does the same thing. It makes a hard turn this way as well. So don't be scared to go back here and look too and see what you can find out off on this side. All good looking stuff there. Then as we move out here, you'll kind of see I marked another spot out here, and this is really just following kind of this break that's out here. So just check these out and see what's going on. It's really strange. I think I moved that mark a little bit too far, but right up here is 14 feet, and then it just drops to 18, and then it keeps going. So look on tops of these, look around these markers, see if you can find anything in those areas. And then moving on down, again, we've got another creek bed that swings out here. And then right here, it's going to swing up against this point right here. So right there where I put that fish icon, another good spot to be looking as well. And then also get over here and just scan around where that little creek bed is and see if you can find anything there. And then maybe even follow back in here and just see if it swings up against the bank line anywhere. If it does, those are always really good hot spots for you. So I'm going to zoom back out here a little bit. And we're going to move on down here. The next thing we find here is, again, another little turn in. So you've got some flooded timber coming off this little point that's right here. So I really like that. I actually like the points that face the river channel better, going downstream so the fish can set up on them better. But they could set up here too really easily and ambush them on this side too. So all good stuff. I would fish both of those for sure. Then moving down through here, not seeing too much. This one doesn't really have too much of a point on this side, but this side makes a really good point right here. So definitely look at that. See if you can find anything there. I'm going to back up so I can show you guys where I was at here. So I'm just coming around this bend. Now, as you come around a little bit further, the next thing that I found was right in here. Again, you've got another one of those little turn-ins. So you've got a really good drop off, a really good ledge. Basically, this whole entire area, you can see how deep and dark those lines are right in here. So there's something really, really good right in there as far as a ledge goes. But right in here is a little turn-in. And sometimes in those little turn-ins is where they'll collect at. So check out those little areas right in there where that turn is right there. Just check it out and just see if you see anything in that area. All right, so I'm going to keep scrolling up here. The next thing that we're going to find is over in this area. And I know when you're looking at it, you're like, well, there's nothing there. But if you zoom in, you'll notice this is kind of a flat up here as well, in about 16 feet, 15 to 16 feet. And then right on the edge of it right here, it has a break. So it's almost like a little point, underwater point that's happening. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be a really high percentage spot or not. It's not really close to the river channel or anything like that, but it is some sort of structure. So, you've got some kind of a break going on there that you might be able to fish around. So check it out, just see. And then, these bends are always great places to look. So coming up here, as that swings really hard, all that area right in there, right where that swing is. And then plus you've got a little creek channel going on there, little creek bed. So all this area right in here, definitely check out right where it hits the bank line. Those creek channel swings are awesome. So then moving down through here, see another little point that comes up. Seeing a pattern here, we're pretty much pointing out every time it comes to a point, we're gonna put a marker there, especially when it's along that river channel. So right in here is good, as well as over in here looks like it could be good as well because that creek bed swings up against this spot right here. So check those out. Then as we move further down, let me zoom back out and show you where we're at. We're down here by this Marina right here, right on the big turn right here. So as we move up here, the next thing we find is a little flat point that comes out right off the edge of this dock. And then it's got a pretty good break. The nice thing is it's got the river channel close by, and it's also got a creek bed close by to it too. So right in here, it looks like it has some definite potential for sure. I could see them getting up there and schooling and things like that come fall time. All right, so we're going to keep moving down. And again, I'll kind of show you guys where I'm at here. Let me zoom back. I'm right there on that fish, so I can't lose where my marker is. But you'll see we're making pretty good progress. So we're going to keep moving down. Next thing we find is another point down here. You got a creek bed. So really sharp breaks right in here. So anywhere you have those breaks, you want to scan those, check those out. But then also right here where the turn is again, you got another little creek bed that swings in here. You've got a nice little point that's right here. So check that out. And then also might go back here and check out that culvert. It's in 12 foot of water with a pond dam right by it. That looks like it could have some potential as well. I'm going to zoom back out here. We're going to keep rolling on down. Now the river channel is actually going to swing over and hit this side now. So the first thing I found is right here. I just marked these because it says there's a gravel pit here. Now, I don't know if there's a gravel pit there or not. There's a pretty good break going on right here though. We have a pretty big flat. And then finally you get the break and you're getting out into the main river channel. But check out these little breaks in here, but also see what that is. I don't know what they mean by a gravel pit, but go look and see if there's anything there. And then on this side, you've got a really good underwater point coming over here, real close to the creek, to the river channel, and close to a creek bed right here. So kind of got double goods right there off that point. That's got to be a pretty good spot. And then moving through here, of course, this point looks good as well. Any of those points out there on the main river channel are going to be good. And then over here, another good point as well. Notice the breaks that are right here. This goes to 22 foot from about 12 foot to 22 foot, really hard right in there. So something's going on right in there, some real good structure, real good break. Then moving back through here, of course, you see the road beds. You always want to fish those road beds and scan around them. You'll be amazed at where you'll find them sometimes. They just kind of follow the shad, just kind of follow those road beds. You never know where you're going to find them at. But the hot spots are usually out, obviously, in the middle of the creek channel. So come out here in this creek bed, see what you can find out here on the submerged culvert, and then maybe kind of move back up. Sorry for the notices, guys. Maybe kind of move back up as you're going through there and see what else you can find off of that road bed. So then moving up here, got another little flat that's going on here, 8 or 9 foot flat coming right out of that little pocket, and then just kind of levels out. So that's pretty cool. Plus, you've got a little juncture or intersection right in here where the creek beds meet, and you got the little drop off going on in that area too. So all good stuff. This is out there by Indian Harbor Marina, if you're wondering where I was at there. So that little area in there looks pretty promising. Then I'm going to keep moving down around this bend. Next thing we find is very similar to what we found earlier. We've got two pretty good points going on right here with some really good breaks off the edges of them. Plus, it's right there on the river channel, so you can't go wrong there. And then moving over here, you got the same kind of thing. This dock is very close. Both these docks are really close to this river channel, so check those out and also see if anything's collecting up here off of this point. This point doesn't look as good. This one actually might be a little bit better. It's hard to say, especially with that creek bed being close by it. Maybe check out both of those, but just don't ever pass up any of these points that are close or connecting to that river channel, because you're going to come across some of them that are going to have some fish on them for sure. So then we're going to move up here. Right over here off of this side, you've got a lot of shallow stuff back in here, a lot of flats and things like that, but a nice little underwater point going on right in here. So I went ahead and mark that one for you guys, and then we're going to keep following that river channel down. Next thing we're going to find is right down in here. If you look at this creek bed, this looks really interesting. In fact, let's start back up here. So you got the river channel, and then all of a sudden the creek breaks off and it comes this way. And these flats touch these creeks, and this creek makes a pretty good indention down in here, like more like a ditch, or there's almost a valley that's underneath there. So anywhere on these break lines can be good. So you definitely want to look in here. This says there's flooded timber right in here. So if you a great spot to go fishing. So definitely go out there, check it out, see what you can find. I would imagine that this area right in here is going to be really good for you. And then we're going to move down here. Next thing we're going to find, it says power plant discharge. So that means more than likely you've got warm water that's pumping out of here. This is going to be a hotbed, especially come wintertime. So go out here and look at the edges of these points. Look over here where this creek bed is, where these bends are. All these areas in here could be good. And then even come as far out as here. You've still got good breaks going on out here. 24 foot of water coming off of basically 18 to 12 foot. This dock looks really good over here where that creek bed actually swings over and kind of hits it. So that area in there, again, looking really good. Kind of the same concept as we're coming down here. And I'll touch on these up here in just a second. Just kind of following these creek beds down and seeing if those creek beds make any kind of formation in the in the ground, or if there's any kind of structure, if there's any kind of break offs, things like that. That's really what we're looking for. And again, right here, you kind of see you've got a little shallow flat top at 13 foot, very similar to what we saw earlier, where it gets really deep behind it and then comes up shallow. So these are always good. But then you got a real good break right in here too that goes off to that creek bed. So in that area could be good. If we swing up to the other side, just some little turn-ins that I want you guys to check out. I don't know if those are going to be any good or not, but you always want to check them out because it's different, right? You've got a couple different turn-ins here, but they're all pretty much the same, and then something that's different. So check out the things that are different for sure. Those will always help you catch fish. Right here, you got the same thing. You got a creek bed swinging up. You got a good spot right here, which makes a good break. And then if we follow that over to this side, again, we got a pretty long point that comes out, long, shallow, flat point, only 12 foot on top. And then boom, you got your major break right in there. So check out that spot where that break is, especially. And then don't be scared to get up here on this flat and check out around this roadbed, especially, and see if anything's relating to any kind of cover that's up there or something that they might be able to relate to. Then I'm going to move back in here. Again, just kind of following that roadbed. That roadbed comes out and makes a swing right here. So here you see it's 9 foot. You got a good drop right here. And that roadbed's kind of setting right here in about 18 foot of water. So check out this area right in here. Check out the submerged culvert that's back there too while you're back there. And then when you come up here, kind of following this little creek bed, it's making some pretty hard turns. It looks like it makes another turn right in here, although it shows it going up there. But again, here you got flooded timber. You got a flat, really like an underwater point that comes out here, and you got 12 foot, maybe like an old pond or something even. I mean, you just got all good recipes for catching fish in this area. So definitely come back here and take a look at that. That one looks good. The creek bed swings up again here. Same type thing. You got the shallow point that comes out. And then you got real good turns that are happening right in here, right along that dock. So really like those spots right in there if you can't tell. So then I'm going to keep moving down here. Next thing I find, there was another one of those storage facilities. I don't know what the heck those are, but check it out. Just see what that is. But down here where you've got these bluff walls, I don't know if these are bluff walls or just really, really steep, really deep area right here. So probably some really steep walls. But right in here, this point comes out. I really like it. 12 to 13 foot on the top. So pretty nice flat top. And then a really good break that takes you right out into the river channel. So check out that. Again, you're going to want to look at any of these points that touch this river channel. So here's a good point. Here would even be a good point. It's just going to depend on what they're setting up on that day. And then we're going to move back here. Again, we have another split here. We've got the creek bed that runs up here. So let's dive into that one and check that one out. So we're just going to kind of follow the basically it looks like the lanes, the boat lanes. But right there off the side, right when you come out, you've got a road bed that's right over here in 30 foot of water that comes up. And you've got a big flat on the top of this point that's over here at about 18 feet. But you've got a real good drop off that happens right there. So you're basically going from 18 feet to 30 to 40 feet pretty quickly. So you've got a really good drop that's happening right in that area. Plus you've got the road bed you can check out, these little turn ins. All of that looks pretty good. And then as we move further up here, again, that creek bed makes that really hard turn, almost with the boat lane right there. But right there, when it makes that turn, right after that turn with the boat lane, it turns out to start coming straight again. Right there, you got another really good ledge. So here you got 18 feet, and here you got 30 feet. So really good breaks right in that area. You might also want to check out here where this road bed comes out here. Those are always good. And then also where I put that marker. And then, of course, that submerged culvert is good as well. So just looks really good. And the cool thing about that is pretty easy to get to. The problem is you're going to have boat traffic that's really close to you. So you just got to be comfortable with fishing around boat traffic. And I think you'll be fine. All right. So then we're going to keep moving up here. We're going to is this the last bend? We got one more bend up to this, and then we're probably going to finish this up. So we'll probably just wrap this video up on this video and move on to our next lake. So let's go ahead and come up here. We're going to follow these boat lanes over. Again, we got the same type thing. We got a creek bed that's coming over here with a really sharp drop coming right in here. So check that out. You got the same thing going on over here. Real sharp drops coming off this big point that comes out here with a nice flat top. Man, look at that flat top. It looks beautiful. Then over here too, same thing, right? Coming from 15 to 24 feet, pretty sharp, pretty hard. So check those out. Then we make that big swing. And now we're going to come down on the inside of that swing. Sometimes you'll find timber and brush piles and stuff like that. Also on the outside too. But right in here, you got a little flat point that comes out, or a little flat top. I don't even know if you even call it a point. But then right there, you've got a major break, basically from 12 feet to 24 to 30 feet. So real hard break right in that area. So check that area out. Right in there. It's not that close to the river channel, but I like how it's on the inside swing. So maybe if there was a ton of current or something, they may have go over there and kind of set up to get out of the current. Don't know. Bass are weird. They'll be in weird spots. All right, so then we're going to move on down. I'm going to hang on this side, and then we'll follow up. We'll finish the video on the other side so I don't confuse you guys here. So let's just keep moving down. Next thing that we see are these little turn-ins. So you've got one right here. We talked about those earlier. You've got a good point that comes out here touching the river channel. So those are always good as well. As you zoom in, you can see this one's got a pretty good flat top as well. And then real good breaks off the sides of them. Again, all those points are going to be good. Then we're going to move down here. As we get further down here, there were a couple spots where people just put markers in here that said fish. So I didn't want to mark it off. Plus, what this looks like is a really good flat, like a spawning area or just a good flat for them to push bait up onto and just have a feeding heyday, because you're coming right out of that main river channel, and they can push them up in here and pin them back in here and stuff like that. So check that out. Also check this out in here. These are always good spots anytime you have those points that come out. Of course, someone's put a marker there as well. And then right here, you've got a pretty good break. I thought there was one. Yeah, there's one more back in here. If you follow this creek bed around, of course, right here, guys, that looks good. Creek bed, road bed, plus riprap, all that looks good. But if you swing around on this side, you've also got a pretty good break going on here. So like, 12 feet to 18 feet. So about a 6-foot drop going on right in that area too. So good stuff on that side. Then we move down. We're getting down to the deeper part of the lake. You've got a pretty good flat top that comes out here. So pretty good point, and then it tapers off. But come up here and look at the tops of this point, and also look here around the roadbed, kind of where I have that fish at. Just scan this whole area right in here and see what you can find. Then moving down here, you've got another roadbed that kind of goes underneath these docks. So you'll want to scan those. You know, depending on how deep you want to fish, you probably don't want to be out here in 50 foot of water, but definitely right in here, roadbed and dock. So you got kind of two different covers. Those are always good. Anytime you can multiply, that's a good thing. Moving down here, you've got some pretty good breaks around this dock. So it's like a real sharp turn in, and then real good breaks right there from the bank to here is 18 feet. So real sharp break right in there. As we move further down in here, the next couple of things I see is I really like this dock. This dock's actually setting out almost in like 30 foot of water. So a real good deep dock, and it's somewhat isolated. All these other ones are all together, and these are kind of together too, but this one's kind of all by itself. So I really like the docks if they're isolated like that, plus they have access to really deep water, and there's actually a shallow spawning area that's close by. That could be a good dock to be looking at. That might even be that gold dock that we said to go fish earlier. I don't know. It probably is. All right, so then moving down here, we're going to keep moving down. And again, you know, I can't see too much here. This is just super deep down in here. I didn't see too much. I don't even think there's anything further down here that I marked for you guys. So we'll hit the dam and we're going to come back up. Next thing I noticed down here was over here on this side. Again, another good roadbed. So if you're following that roadbed up, there's a little point that happens right in here. Little 8 foot off the edge of it, and then it drops off to about 15, 16 feet. So check out this little point right here, especially with that roadbed being there. That could make it a little more interesting. Again, I've talked about it a lot on these Ganbury videos, but I would probably stick more towards the river channel side. But sometimes you can get over here in these areas that maybe aren't as populated, but still find some pretty good spots to fish. Like right in here, this could be a potential shell bed, because you're out kind of main lake area here, but you've got a little hump that's coming out here. Not really a hump. I guess it's a point that comes out really. So check out that, scan around the top of that. You know, 8 feet's a pretty good depth, especially when you got, 12 foot and 12 foot on both sides. 8 foot's a pretty good depth to be fishing in. Fun depth to be fishing in. You can throw a lot of different things in that depth. And then I'm going to move on up here. We're going to get back up here to these power lines. Another little roadbed that swings out here, and I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't know if this is a creek bed, or almost looks like a possible creek bed right in here. But if you follow it down, it's kind of a creek bed, roadbed, plus some power poles maybe in the area. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything standing there or not. If there is, you definitely want to fish around those types of things. And then we're going to move up here, and this is going to finish us up because we already talked about that up there. So let's finish up right here on these last 2 points. And right here, it's the same type thing we were looking at before. You got the main river channel with the creek bed that falls off of it. Guess I'm getting towards the end of the video here. And then we're going to move on down. We got some really good breaks going right here by this dock with the creek bed. And then over here, I just want you to check this out right in here and see what you can find. There's some flooded timber out here, a pretty good flat top, 8 to 9 feet with a roadbed, flooded timber, plus you got a creek bed nearby. All those things are adding up to be, hopefully, a good place for you to find some fish. So, guys, that wraps us up for Lake Ganbury. That one went a lot faster than I thought it would. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I need some more suggestions, man. I've actually gone out. I think we're up to 22, 23 lakes now, and I'm starting to run out of lakes in the DFW area, believe it or not. So send me your suggestions, please. I'd love to break them down. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.